Thank you.
Also, Bill Otto, state representative, and in terms of full disclosure, you're running for the Democratic nomination against nobody to take on Ann Wagner for her House seat.
Yes.
Okay. What did the EPA say about this barrier for the Bridgeton landfill?
Well, they came back and said it was necessary, that it turns out letting a fire hit radioactive waste in the middle of St. Louis County just isn't going to be a good idea.
Okay, it only took them how long for this to happen? 18 years for them to make this decision?
Well, that's not really fair. As much as I don't defend EPA very often, this is based upon the fire, the smoldery event, and all those ways they describe it. But it's been a little bit, but I think accolades are due to them. I was skeptical that they would make this decision.
Right.
They made it. It's a good decision. It is. If there's anything we need to do for folks that they should be guaranteed of, is their safety. And this is an absolute sort of a line in the sand to keep them safe.
All right. So what does it say exactly? Does it say they need to be separated? They need to be taken out? There needs to be a piece of paper between them?
Yeah, how will they do this?
What are they going to do?
They can't let the two meet. That's all it says. Unfortunately, I think one of the criticisms, if there are a few, is that it was a very vague statement. It was almost like it's New Year's Eve and we promised these people something. We have to announce something, so let's announce. But there were no details. We don't know where it's going to go. We don't know how long it's going to take to build. So while it's good news, a lot of people aren't holding their breath. Let's just say that.
When will they start to do this?
Well, even in their statement, there's I think they feel like there'll be some legal challenges, which will be interesting, and we would hope that Republic Services understands that this is necessary. That there's no really everything else they've done is experimental at right now, and they're not sure whether it's worked. But the barrier will be some sort of earthen barrier. The number one way to keep a fire from moving is air. You make a big hole. You can't do that there. So what they'll do, I would assume, is make some sort of a earthen barrier, or maybe a combination of a slurry wall or a barrier or something. Something that's absolute.
But I also thought that they didn't know where the nuclear waste was, so to separate it's kind of hard since you don't know where it was dumped in the first place.
Right. In their announcement, they kind of allude to that there's some things that they're still trying to work out, which I think one of them is the exact location based on where the known radioactive waste is. And right now, there's so much in the air that they don't know as far as where it is. Every time they sink a hole in the ground, they're finding it. So, that's kind of on everybody's mind. But either way, I mean, anything that happens at this site permanently to deal with the radioactive waste, this fire will be burning now for, Republic said 6+ years. Now they're not even saying a date. So nothing can happen at this site without a way to separate the two before you begin whatever permanent solution you're going to do.
What are you two asking for? There's still there are all sorts of different options. What or you guys still want to either encapsulated and or moved, or where are you guys in all this?
Well, from my point of view, this is why we want FoosRap in there. They're a group that's out there working now. They understand the needs. They understand what they've dealt with in this area for a long time. So it's important to send it to them. But for me to tell them what to do with it and all the scientific stuff, it'd be like them to tell me how to run airplanes out of Lambert as an air traffic controller. Right. I don't know all the nuances. They need to figure out. I think in the long run, the only real solution is removal.
Dawn?
I think that this community's been through a lot, and I think that we're calling for a safe and permanent solution, but permanent means permanent, meaning I don't want you to come back 5 years from now because it's leaking to fix it. We have to live next to it. We deserve to have our community fixed and put back the way it was, and whatever it takes to do that is what we're going to ask, and we're not going to let up.
There are commercials on radio and television saying that moving it is not very safe. That is being paid for by an arm of Republic Services. How do you guys respond to moving it? Is it safe to move?
It's already being dug out of people's backyards and parks in North County. So yeah, they've been moving it out of St. Louis now for over a decade. At least 7 times the weight of the arch has been moved out of St. Louis thus far. So it's already happening. The Corps moves it out in other cities. It is what it is. That is just a PR stunt, and it's unfortunate that this community has to endure that kind of behavior.
Dawn Chapman, community activist, lives in the area. Bill Otto, state rep. Bill, Dawn, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us.
You got it. 7:57.